basically been on the internet for about 5 minutes and I'm already getting hate comments. We are gonna go through what has been said already. I've just gone onto the comments bit of my channel, and the first one that comes up, and the comment is, "Yes you are, accept and learn to love yourself as you are. A life of pain and sorrow awaits, don't harm yourself." As I've already said before, and this is just something that I'm just going to have to keep on repeating, I am not going to regret HRT or taking testosterone. This is something that I legitimately need to do for myself and myself only. Accept and learn to love yourself as you are. Well, I have. Me being trans, I have accepted it. And for years when I was younger, I didn't want to accept it. I rejected it, tried to be normal or tried to be a female, tried to live that life, but I realistically couldn't in any way, shape or form. And the part that they said, "A life of pain and sorrow awaits," well, that was what I had when I was forcing myself to be female and live as female. And what they said about don't harm yourself, well, that ultimately was what was happening when I was forcing myself to live as female. And even now I've still got people around me that don't see me as who I actually am. They don't see me as male in any way, shape or form. They're not even trying to see me as who I am as a person. They're not respecting me. They're not calling me by my preferred name or pronouns. Realistically, doing that makes me as a person feel so much worse about myself and will ultimately lead me to self-harm, suicide, drugs and alcohol, and realistically doing things like it and destructive things. Why would I live a life where I'm not accepting myself for who I am? Because I already have, and I'm already doing it. And realistically, I wouldn't be transitioning if I didn't accept who I am. So it doesn't at all make sense what they've said, and to me it feels like they've contradicted themselves. Accept and learn to love yourself as you are. I have. A life of pain and sorrow awaits. Well, a life of pain and sorrow would happen if I wasn't able to do this, and it has happened for all my life, realistically. So me doing this means that I will no longer live a life of pain and sorrow. And realistically, me medically transitioning, I'm not hurting myself. Next comment, and it says, "If an intergalactic union existed, Earth would be the embarrassment of the galaxy." What? Because I'm specifically trans and I was at the time 2 weeks on testosterone. I'm sure there are plenty of things that cisgendered people would do that would be an embarrassment to the galaxy. I seriously don't know how getting the medical treatment I need is an embarrassment to the galaxy. I don't know. Another comment from another video says, "You're a girl with a beard." How am I? The only thing I can get in terms of facial hair is a little tash, and that's it. I currently don't have it at the moment because I decided I wanted to get rid of it just to see what I actually looked like without it. If I could grow a beard at this point in time, I would be so happy with it, and I wouldn't at all get rid of it in any way, shape or form. I would keep it, I would maintain it and keep it neat and tidy and everything else like that. I don't have a beard at the moment. I, yes, do have female chromosomes, but that doesn't make someone female. Realistically, it doesn't. And another comment, says, "You're being used as a human experiment." As a reply, "How did you come to that conclusion?" I've had no response and I'm not waiting anymore. But how exactly am I being used as a human experiment? You don't go through medically transitioning without voluntarily going to GP first, which starts off the process of being able to medically transition. And you don't at all just get put straight into it. You have to do things. You have to go through a whole process you voluntarily get involved in. I mean, how am I being used as a human experiment? For what? Where's the evidence in any way, shape or form? And no one's forcing me to do this. No one's collecting data on me. No one's doing anything like that. So how am I being used as a human experiment? For what exactly? And another comment, just the word gay, and that's it. And I replied with, I'm so glad you noticed, because realistically, yes, I am. I'm glad that they noticed. I mean, I'm not hiding it. I'm not hiding it from anyone. Realistically, it's just true. That is me. This is one that I'm probably going to get quite a lot, and it's, you're not a real man. I would very much like to know their definition of what a man is. Realistically, I am male. It's just the difference between myself and someone that was born with male chromosomes is the fact that I wasn't born with male chromosomes. And just because someone is born with the opposite chromosomes doesn't mean that they are not that gender. Sex and gender are different things. I mean, one doesn't determine the other, and the other doesn't determine the first one. There's another comment that just says, you go girl, and I don't know if it was meant to be disrespectful, but I actually thought it was quite funny. Good for them for making one that I thought was funny. And another one, and it just says, so sad, poor dear. That would be true if I was having to continue with not accessing the care from medical specialists, which is true. I would have completely and utterly stayed sad and miserable and a waste of space and all that kind of stuff if I wasn't being able to now live my life with who I am as a person, rather than being forced into staying as someone that I just am not in any way, shape or form. And the next one is just, you poor thing. What? What's that supposed to be? Like, you poor thing that you're going through this as like some sort of sympathy, or is it meant to be like disrespectful? I'm not entirely sure. You can make your own mind up and maybe try and tell me in the comments.